All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you all for joining. So, tonight I will be talking about time and why time is a crucial and important factor when in terms of day trading. Now, also why I want to talk about this is because truthfully, you do not want to be trading all day, every day. There are certain times we want to be in the market, and then there are certain times we would just rather be out of the market. So, just had a quick question. Has anyone here, just in the futures course, gone over the three different time zones we have of New York, Asian, and London? If not, I'm going to chart those out so y'all can see what that looks like. Not yet. Okay, that's fine. I can chart that out for y'all. So, specifically in trading, there are three sessions that are important. It's New York, Asian, and London. And I'll be charting those out now. So, New York, as I will plot down here, is it from 9:30 market open until, we can call it 4:30 in the afternoon. Some say 4, others 4:30. We'll just call it 4:30 in the afternoon. So this is New York session. Asian session, well, let me go back. Asian session is from 6 p.m. until around 2 a.m. That's when it stops and it switches over to London session. So from here till here is Asian session. And then this one right here in the middle is London session. London session goes from, let me now just go through all three of these. So Asian session goes from 6 p.m. until 2 a.m. A London session goes from 2 a.m. until 10, tripping. London session goes from 2 a.m. until 10 a.m. And then New York session is from 9:30 until 4:30 p.m. From 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. There is a 30-minute overlap in volume the first 30 minutes of market open because, as I just stated, London session goes from 2 a.m. until 10 a.m. New York session goes from 9:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. So that the first 30 minutes of market open is usually the most volatile just because of the overlap in volume. It's not always 100%, but more times than not, the first 30 minutes of the market is what it tends to turn out being. So let's talk about when is the best time to trade. So right here, I have what are known as the ideal kill zones and which you want to trade in. What a kill zone is these are time frames in which traders and, if you want to use institutions, are looking to place their trades at. So we want to be trading at the most volume impacted times in the market. Now, whether you trade options or futures or even forex, it really does not matter. These time frames apply to all markets. Me personally, I am a New York AM session trader. My apologies, this was supposed to be, yeah, we could say 8:30. So nonetheless, let me change this to 9. It's on me. 11:30. We can change it to 12. It's fine. Apologies. But nonetheless, I am a New York AM session trader. I only trade the New York AM session, meaning I am on my computer at 9:30, and me personally, I am off of it by 12. The reason why I personally don't trade from 12 until 1 is because on Wall Street, that is when the traders go to lunch. Okay, there is a lunch break on Wall Street. So for about an hour, it's not that the market isn't moving, it's not that there's still trades being placed, it's just that volume isn't as heavy. So therefore, that's not something I would want to be a part of. So for those of you, right, who, let's just say you're in school right now and you can't make the AM session, right, then ideally you want to start trading during the PM session, which goes from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. So that is how you want to conduct your trading style. You ideally want to trade one session every day consistently. And if you get a trade within that time frame, congratulations. If not, you just wait till tomorrow. Because guys, once again, the point of trading, it is not to sit in front of your computer all day and be thirsty for a move. We are simply just here to be patient and place our trades. Whether we make money or lose money truly is irrelevant and not the point, because in trading, it's all about the process, not the profits. So once again, I trade the New York AM session. So I do not take a trade before 9:30, but I'm also done trading by 11:30. And the reason for that is because, like I said, lunch on Wall Street in New York starts at 12. That is when the traders are allowed to go to lunch and everything else like that. So from 12 to 1. So I like to get out the market before 11:30. The only exception to this is if I am in a move prior to 11:30 and it just so happens to carry me to that 11:30, 11:40, 11:45 o'clock range. So I personally do not partake in the PM session. Now, who here trades NQ and ES? Just those two indices. Probably a lot of you, but I just, or even if you're an options trader and you're trading QQQ and SPY. Anyone here trade the indices heavily? RTY, that's valid. So oftentimes in the morning, every now and then, you will have horrible price action during the AM session. So what that means is if the market is choppy, meaning we are moving sideways or in a heavy consolidation from that 9:30 to 12 o'clock range, ideally, it is in your best interest to wait until the PM session to get a better trading opportunity. Meaning, if you don't like what you're seeing from 9:30 to say 12, then you simply should just wait to place a trade until it's the PM session, which is from 1 to 5 p.m. Does that make sense? And this applies to options and futures as well. It does not matter. It's just the market in general and which time frames you want to look to execute trades at. Now, for those of you who are interested in trading futures or you happen to trade futures, who here works a full-time job during the day and can't really get on the charts at all in the morning? Like you just kind of paper trade if you can, or you just have to wait till the evening comes completely. Okay, no problem. So that is where we get into Asian session. Okay, Asian session. Now, Asian session starts at 6 p.m., but it is best to wait until around 7, maybe even 8 o'clock. It comes down to personal preference, whether or not, like, it depends on what you see for volume. All right. So from 7 p.m. until 12 a.m. is the ideal times to trade Asian session. So right now, for example, it is 7 o'clock. So we can be looking for trades right now. Yes, as I said, it's currently 7:22. So if I were to zoom in right on my chart, I could place a line at where 7 o'clock candle is. So this right here is the 7 o'clock candle. So I would be looking to take or place a trade from this line until this line. This zone right here is the opportune times to trade during Asian session. Just how if I were to go to New York, I'm going to make these different colors. But from this line right here until this line right here is where you'd want to trade the New York AM session. Make that smaller. Where you want to trade the New York AM session. From this line here until this line here is when you'd want to trade the New York PM session. Does everyone see here how I left a gap in between the New York AM session, the New York PM session? This is when this is when ideally traders are at lunch and volume isn't as present like it can be. So from 12 to 1, it's just in your best interest to stay out of the market. Now, does this mean that we cannot trade during, the lunch break? You can. It's just that, understand, we are about taking high quality setups, and we always want to make sure that, we have, ample amount of volume and that there's orders being placed. Now, granted, while New York session is the most volatile session of the three, it's still in your best interest to just simply wait that hour when the market will then become back again on your side and opportunities are just better for you. So this is the AM session. This is the PM session. And then this is kind of like the dying off. The only reason I'm not charting this is because, from 4 o'clock, if I'm being honest, from 4 o'clock until 5 o'clock comes, because from 5 to 6 is when the futures market is closed for an hour and everything else like that. But even for options, from 4 until the market close, volume is going to die out. And if I'm going to be completely honest, everyone here, I don't think anyone should be placing any type of trade around that. Once you get to that 4 p.m., once again, not saying you can't, but just know volume is no longer on your side. And it's not opportune enough for you to make a winning position out of any type of trade. So I personally wouldn't do that. But then nonetheless, we come here, right? This is Asian session. From 7 to 12 a.m. are the ideal times you would look to place a trade. And finally, if we go to London session, I'm going to put this in here. From 2 until 5 a.m. is ideally the time frame you want to look to execute an order during London session. From the hours of 5 a.m. up until market open, once again, not that you can't take a trade at 6:30, 7:30, 8:30 a.m. But once again, this is the whole point of this video, and what I'm trying to teach y'all is that there are certain times in the market where orders are consistently and every day going to get placed. So because of that, you want to make sure that you're trading during these sessions. So if you see you're playing, so hold on, let me see. So if you see your play lineup during poor volume lunch gaps, is it best to, yes, exactly, Tanisha. There has been plenty of times where, based on the rules for my entry and what I go buy off a trade, where I'm at my computer from 9:30 to 11:30, and at 12:05, I'll see my setup happen. And granted, it can go my way. It can do whatever it wants to do. But what I'm trying to say is, if I don't get up entry from 9:30 to 11:30, I am done for the day. Because what it does is it keeps me consistent. It is so important in trading, guys. You really do want to treat this like a job. Meaning for your job, what? You show up on time and you leave when you're supposed to. When you have structure in your trading, it makes not only the process easier, but tracking your wins and losses that much easier for you to do. You don't want to be trading New York session, London session, this session, that session. Like, if you choose to do that, not that you can't, but I find it better and a lot easier to maintain when you can focus on one session. Now, for those of you wondering what is the best session to trade, if we're talking volume, it will always be New York. That will never change. But the best session to trade is whatever session you can dedicate 100% focus to, because that's what matters. You have to be able to focus during said session. So whether you work if you work a full-time day job, right, from 9 to 5, you want to ideally look to trade, Asian session or London session. Now, Asian session does have the lowest volume out of the other two. Does that mean you can't take it? Does that mean you can, like, that you shouldn't take a trade during Asian session? No. Just be aware of the market does move slower during Asian session. Now, I will say once you get to the 8 o'clock range to midnight, volume does pick up and moves become a lot better. So that's kind of why I say 7 o'clock, you would ideally want to be in front of your computer so you can look to catch those moves. But this is how you want to structure your trading. Ideally, pick one zone, one session to trade, and only trade that session. And I'm going to use some of us as examples, right? Sierra, for example, she trades the New York AM session. Now, although she's done in usually 20, 30 minutes of the day, Sierra does not bounce around on her time frames. All right. She solely trades the New York AM session. Rico, for example. Rico is a New York AM session trader, but if price looks choppy during, the AM session, he will wait until PM because that's the smart thing to do. Understand, in AM session, you really have 2 times that you can execute trades in. So whether he's trading from 9:30 to whatever or 1 o'clock to whenever, bottom line, if I'm using Rico, for example, Rico is not trading from 9:30 until 2 o'clock straight. Now I'm going to answer a couple more questions that are in the chat. Hold on. Desiree, so to answer your question about what are my personal rules when I enter a trade, it's going to vary from strategy to strategy, but I'll just say one of my biggest components for when I choose to enter a trade, and I'm going to be talking about this in the video that I'll be uploading on Friday, but I use VWAP personally to dictate whether or not I'm long or short for the day. If we're above VWAP, I'm looking for longs. If we're below VWAP, I'm looking for shorts. So VWAP is 100% what makes my bias for the day. And I'll be going in the video I'm uploading tomorrow as well. So don't worry too much if you don't understand that. I'm going to break it down fully in depth and what the VWAP means and all that other stuff. Which session would be best to trade? New York if you're looking for the best amount of volume. But like I said, whichever one you can give the most amount of time to is what you'd want to trade. If I took a trade right now, would it be filled or working? It would be filled. But that's if we're talking futures. I mean, obviously, I don't know, but the options market is closed right now. But if you were to place a trade on futures, you would get filled right now. As long as whether you're paper trading or you have an actual Trade-Evade account, you would get filled right now. Because the market is moving. As you can see on the right here, this is the ticker and everything like that. So ideally, you can look to take a trade right now. Now, I will say this, just because the market is open, and I know like a lot of you probably know this, but just want to reillustrate it. Just because the market is open does not mean you take trades. And that goes for everyone here. Whatever y'all's like trading strategy is, whether you're trading, support and resistance, supply and demand, break and retest, hike-ins, if whatever the case might be, whatever it is that you're trading, understand this. You do not place a trade until you see your setup occur. We are not here to guess and gamble and just shoot at the charts blindly. If you guys want to become I'm not going to say great, but if you just guys would just want to get to become profitable at this and just good enough at this, you have to treat this like a sniper, meaning you need to have a checklist and rules that every day you go over. And if it applies within your strategy and A leads to B, which then leads to C and then D, then you enter with no hesitation. You solely focus on the execution because that is all that matters. That's which I said at the beginning. Whether you win or lose is irrelevant. Are you following the plan? Because I promise you this, if you are following the plan and as long as your strategy is proven profitable by yourself, the profits will come. But you have to put the process over the profits in order to see those returns. Yes, I will upload that video tomorrow, but this one will get uploaded tonight. Good question. So someone asked me, if I don't take a trade during AM session, could I technically be safe to look for a trade during PM session? And the answer is yes, I could, but I like to have my day, just my day to myself. And that's what I'm trying to get at. So me personally, I'm only going to trade from 9:30 to 12. And if I take a trade, I take a trade. If not, cool. I don't like to be on my computer, until 1, 2, 3 o'clock. Because me personally, I have no problem admitting, I don't like staring at my screen all day. So because of that, I tend to just go from 9:30 to 12 and then I call it a day. How many trades do I take a day? That's a great question as well. So, and I believe everyone here should apply it to themselves as well. Me personally, I take one trade a day. And either I win or I lose. Very, very rarely am I ever looking to take 2 or 3 trades. I personally find it easier for me to just be one and done. Now, I will say, depending on where I'm at for the week, if I'm green, if I'm red, I can sometimes, be lenient and say, okay, today I'm going to look to take 2 trades. Very rarely do I ever want to take 3, but sometimes every now and then I'll be like, okay, I'm going to take 2, but 95% of the time, I'm only looking to take 1 trade and call it a day there. Because whether or not, let's just say I do lose on that trade, I'd much rather protect my capital. I do not revenge trade ever. There's nothing on this earth that can get me to revenge trade anymore. I have broken that cycle and I am never going back to that. And all of y'all should as well. Because the only thing, like Sierra says, the only thing that is guaranteed in trading is at some point you're going to lose. No one has 100% win rate. Some might be close, but losses are inevitable. Now, that just because you lose doesn't mean that you can't recover on those losses. But me personally, I'm looking to take 1 trade a day. But as far as everyone here goes, I wouldn't recommend anyone here take more than 3. If you are taking more than 3 trades in a day, I'm not trying to judge anyone, but I would just make sure that, you're being appropriate with your risk as far as how much you're risking per trade and that you're not trading just to make money. Now, if you see your setup happen 3 times in a day, back to back to back, you're in the right. There's nothing wrong with that. But guys, once again, you want to know when to walk away from your computer. And this is my thing. When it comes to trading, in my honest opinion, no matter what strategy anyone here is trading, in my opinion, you are either going to win or you're going to lose, which I'm sure everyone here knows. So, and that ultimately means that you're either 50% right or 50% wrong on the scale of 100. Because if you win, you were right. If you lose, you were wrong. So either way, it's 50-50. So because of that, if I win, I simply just walk away. But these are still, once again, the opportune times that everyone should be looking to trade at. So if you're trading from 9:30 to 12, you're AM session trader, so go about it like that. If you don't have time in the morning, if you're a student, whatever the case might be, trade in the PM session. If you work a full-time job and you don't have any time at all in the morning, then you want to trade from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. Should I be focusing on picking a single setup? I feel like I'm having a bad habit of finding setups that don't exist. How would I stop that? It ultimately depends on your strategy. I'm a big believer in trading one strategy. I trade one strategy every single day. I have the same entries every single day. Simplify your trading as best as you can, because that's how the best trading is done. You want trading to be as simple and straightforward as possible. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, if you don't know what your confirmations are, then it's not only going to be hard for you to become profitable, but it's going to be hard for you to ever develop a system that makes sense to you. The market gives it to you every day? No, not at all. I would say out of the 20 trading days in the month, I on average probably place anywhere from 14 to 16, trades, but there are definitely days I don't trade because I don't get a entry during the AM session. And that's completely okay. Now, if I were to trade all day or trade the PM session, then yes, I probably would place a trade every day. But once again, I'm also every day I open up my computer, Tanisha, I'm really not looking to place a trade because that's putting an expectation personally, and it makes me like kind of antsy to like place a position. Instead, I just read the market, and if the market gives something to me that aligns with my trading plan, then I simply execute just off that. But I don't wake up every day thinking I have to trade or I need to trade. No, it's just more like I'm just watching the market and just hovering and seeing, what's going on for that day. So you have the same opportunities to make good money AM session and PM session? Yes. I will say this though. I will say this. You have the same opportunities, but once again, ideally, your best volume is going to come during this session right here from 9:30 to 12. But I don't want that to scare anyone away from like, oh, if I can't trade from 9:30 to 12, I shouldn't be trading at all. No, that's not it. You can trade from 1 to 5. You can trade from 7 to 12. You can trade from 2 to 5 a.m. It's just what session you're available to trade. But yes, ideally, you want to look to trade from 9:30 to 12 p.m. Sure. Someone said when I started paper trading, I was doing 60 plus trades a day and was exhausted. Yeah. No, like I said, you want to keep it. Me personally, I don't take more than 2 trades a day. I don't even remember the last time I took 3. And really I like to take one. Like one is my favorite thing to do. I like one trade, win or lose, whatever happens, happens. That's just easier for me and my psychology. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask about, said time zones, anything about, maybe how they trade or anything like that? Anything that they feel like they struggle with? Are you more of a scalper or swing trader? I am definitely, I mean, I I guess by terminology, I'm a scalper. But obviously I day trade. I don't personally swing trade. I don't know if Rico is here. Is Rico here? No, Rico is not here. I would message Rico. He's the only one I know that swing trades. I know Sierra might do it occasionally, but Rico's the only one that I know can consistently, or at least to my knowledge, consistently swing trade. I don't think Wall Street does anything like that. Okay, Wall Street does too. Okay, so yeah, I would either message Wall Street or Rico. Now, if you're talking about swing trading on futures, I don't know anyone that does that. Because with futures, the market's open 23 hours a day, 6 days a week. So, not that it can't be done, but you better be confident in what you're doing. I don't have the heart or the stomach to ever swing trade futures. Not that I trade options, but I would never swing trade in futures. Once again, not that it's impossible, but I wouldn't recommend it. uh Trying to understand which one is better to build in a controlled manner. Ultimately it varies. In my personal experience, when I've seen, just not only here in Crystal and everything else like that, it's going to vary from person to person, and specifically, what aligns better with your psychology. If you ask me, I will forever and always tell you, that building capital in a controlled manner or a consistent sense, trade futures, and everything else like that. But someone might say no, it's options, and that's completely okay. It just comes down to personal preference. So it's really whatever is best for you. I will say this, if you struggle in options, I would check out futures. If you're struggling in futures, maybe check out options. There's two markets for a reason. I will never push to y'all Forex because that's a bootleg, disgusting, grimy market. We do not trade Forex, and I don't care if anyone here does. I have beef with Forex. So that's all I want to say. I will never push Forex here to anyone. It's either futures or options. That's it. Why not Forex? There are so many reasons why I'm anti-Forex, but the biggest one, and this is really the only one that matters, is that it's not regulated. Meaning, I could want to get filled at, let's just say, level 100, but because the market isn't regulated, whatever broker I'm going through, they might see my order at level 100, but they might fill me at level 105, completely messing up my whole trade. Respectfully, if I wanted to deal with horrible spreads or spreads that may not always be in my favor at all times, I would just trade options. Because at least in options, you can have horrible spreads sometimes, but at least it's a regulated market. Like if you want to take Tesla 425 calls, you're going to get that 425 call contract. It's a regulated market. So they're always going to fill you at whatever, contract you want to get filled at. In Forex, that is not always the case. And plus two, there's no security on your profits. If we're talking prop firms, a lot of them get shut down. It's just Forex is unfortunately a very shady market. And I would never, ever recommend anyone trading that. And that's just that. So now, don't get me wrong. There's like out of maybe 100,000 people who claim to trade Forex, maybe 100 of them are profitable. There are more people that are profitable in futures and options in general in the world than there are in Forex. And Forex is the largest market in the world. Is it true that Forex trading is the most rewarding? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's either options or futures. It's going to vary from person to person. The only thing that Forex is that it's the most volatile market because it's the foreign exchange market. It's like the global market. And obviously, the options and futures, that's the American and everything else like that. But Forex is the world market. So you will not find a market that's more volatile than Forex. That's quite literally impossible. But after Forex is the most volatile, futures is the second, and options is overall the third. Yeah, $6 trillion. Yeah, $6 trillion is moved around per day on Forex, while I believe in futures, it's somewhere in the billions, and so is options. So yeah, but overall, I'm just not a Forex person. What are your thoughts on crypto? Okay. If futures is black Air Force Ones, crypto is black Air Force Ones, a ski mask, and a baseball bat. If disregard everything I said, if I had to, no one here, please ever trade crypto. And guys, I'm not saying this to be like, I am saying this to be funny. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm serious when I say that is a shady, shady, shady market. Because what you have to understand about Forex and crypto is those markets are not government regulated, meaning anything can happen. I mean, not that I know these people, but I've heard horror stories from people I know that know individuals that trade crypto where they have $2 million or millions of dollars in their portfolio, and they wake up and it's gone, and the broker ran off with it. Like, once again, really shady stuff. Don't trade crypto. Just don't. And honestly, I've never met an individual that I can trust to learn from. Now, once again, although I am slandering Forex, although I am slandering crypto, are there people in this world who are rich off of it? Yes. Don't get it twisted. There are people in this world that are rich off crypto, that are rich off of crypto, and there are people that are rich off of Forex. But are they as common as those people who are just living financially okay day to day as futures and options? No. Think about it. When y'all scroll, when y'all are scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, and you come across trading, 95% of that stuff is forex. Being pushed in MetaTrader 5 and everything else like that. Not that that's a problem, but once again, just join futures because futures is better than forex. Always has been, always will be. So that's all I can say about those two markets. What about Bitcoin? Y'all are not serious right now. This is all I'm trying to say. Guys, please, if you're not trading Forex or future for tripping, if you're not trading options or futures, don't trade anything else. Please don't. Please don't. Don't. Please don't. I don't want y'all to get hurt, man. Trust me, I know plenty of people that have gotten hurt doing that. So Desiree, you asked, which should I try first, futures or options? Desiree, the best thing you can do truly is educate yourself. Some people are going to say future. Joy. Some people are going to say futures, others are going to say options. If you ask me, I'm going to always tell you futures. And, that's just me. But you're in your best interest, go on YouTube, type in futures versus options and see which is better for you. In the futures course I have here in Crystal Academy, I not only break down what futures are, but I also go pretty in depth about the difference between futures and options. And if need be, I can gladly send you a full playlist I have that breaks down futures versus options. But ultimately, it comes down to you and what you trade. I personally find that futures is not only more beginner friendly from a mental standpoint, but also more capital friendly as well. But that's just my sole opinion. I would recommend that you can either fact check that across the internet or just ask people in Crystal. I feel like we have a healthy balance of both. But yeah, I would just ask away like that. Am I recording this? Yes, this is currently being recorded and it will be uploaded tonight. Joy, I'm crying. Uh, Nahom, are you asking me like what we should do with our trading money? Like that you make? Is that what you're asking me? I mean, long term to do with whatever money you make from trading, it just depends on you. Once again, this is not financial advice, but do what makes sense. Whether that's if you want to take the money you're making off trading and invest in real estate, go for it. If you want to take the money you're making and invest in nothing, okay. I mean, put under your mattress. It doesn't. I don't really think it matters. I'm the last person on earth that will ever tell you what to do with your money when you're making it from trading. All I can say truly is do whatever makes sense. Just understand that with any investment you make, it's gonna take time to see that money back. Which is probably one thing why I love most about trading is the only liquid business where you can see your investments back immediately, the same day. So you know it doesn't. There's so many truly outside of trade. I will say this much: there are many ways to make money in this world, but what I promise everyone here, and you would have to up a bank statement on me to get me to change my opinion otherwise, there is no easier, quote unquote, easier way to make money than there is in trading. And I'm not saying I've tried it all, but if you want to get into real estate, that's a hefty startup cost. If you want to get into Airbnb arbitrage, that's a hefty startup cost. If you want to start a business, whether that's a clothing brand, a store, a bakery, once again, heavy startup costs. If we're talking from beginning investment to overall profitability, when you get back to break even, trading by far has the lowest startup cost out of anything else in this world. Like out of everything. And not to say, once again, that I've tried everything, some might disagree with me, and that's completely fine. But I think that trading is by far the best thing to start out with, and then use your money from trading to fund your business, to fund your real estate company, or whatever the case is. Some of the best people I know in this world that have made money off trading They make their money from trading and then use it as a stepping stool to fund whatever it is that they're trying to do. And that's honestly the best thing to do. Because understand this, if I'm going to talk about one thing else about about trading, is that no matter where everyone here is at in their trading career, understand when you understand what you're doing and you have mastered yourself and you know your strategy in and out, you are a walking bank. Walking bank, meaning it is a superpower to be able to open up your computer anywhere in the world and know that you can make money. Does it mean that you will? No. But does it mean that you have the absolute potential to do it? 100%. So, and that's probably the biggest reason why I love trading is because I don't care if I'm in Thailand, Utah, Alaska, or Haiti. If I have a Wi-Fi connection, respectfully, we're robbing Wells Fargo. Bring out the ATM. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it takes time to get there. And so all I can encourage though is for everyone here while you're on your journey, understand that it does not come overnight. Me personally, it took me about a year and a half to get to where I'm not only profitable, but where I'm consistent. And for some of you, it's going to vary. Some of you might take 2 years. It might take 3 years. Heck, some of it might even take 4. It doesn't matter because it takes 4 years to get a degree. For those of you that are in school to become doctors and lawyers, no, shout out to y'all. But, you know, everything in life takes time. So don't rush it, you know? But yeah, does anyone else have any other questions? Specifically, I'll answer any other questions, but does anyone have any questions regarding to specifically the time zones in which are the best times to trade at? Does anyone want to ask anything or confused? No, sir, for sure. Do I trade weekends? You know, okay, I don't, but every now and then, like, okay, Joy, I'll say this. It depends on where my profits are at for the week and for the month. But like, let's just say, you know, I go 5 for 5 Monday to Friday. I'll take a trade on Sunday. Why not? I'll risk, you know, a little $200-300. See what I can make. You know, it just depends. Like, I will say this 95% of the time, I am always going to take a trade during New York session. I know y'all know this, but that other 5%, I float around. Does that make sense, Joy? Like 95% of the time, I am in New York AM session, but that other 5, well, it depends. The times on the chart are the best to trade. Correct. Correct. Which is why I'm leaving this up here so y'all can you know, write this down. But I'm gonna end the recording here. I'll stay after and answer I'll answer any more questions that anyone has. And I don't think anyone has anything more to ask about this, but I'll stay after. But nonetheless, I just want to say thank all y'all for joining. I hope that y'all really got some valuable knowledge out of this. Like I said, I love what I do, and you know, I hope that this helps you on your trading journey. So thank you for watching and coming today.